In this episode, you're gonna see the first meeting between me and Abudi in a project for K11. You're gonna see all the aspects of the business and how it declinates all the business aiming to preserve art and providing a platform for creator, corporate, housing, residential, business, and more and more and more. Hello and welcome back to this third episode about K11 in Nesso Design Talks. I'm Antonio Minonne. On the other side of the world there's Abudi. Ciao Abudi.
Ciao Antonio.
We are the founder of Nesso Design and we are diving into the world of a game changer in the retail market. We are diving into K11. And in today's episode we're gonna see beyond the brand. So what is around the brand, what they are doing, how, which are the other elements that express the brands.
And also what we have done with them.
We start with that. Okay. Yes. So this is the story. Our first project between me and Abudi actually was about K11. Me and Abudi, the K11 window. So inside the K11 there's many windows that are permanent windows, and basically K11 use it to showcase a new brand that open the store inside the K11, or particularly season, we call it activation. Activation is when you have Chinese New Year and you collect the product from each brand inspired by Chinese New Year. So maybe all the windows as a concept of product to show. So it happens that in that period we were working in a studio. It's called BYB Vision. It's a studio based in Shanghai that is focused mostly on retail experience and visual merchandising for fashion, and it was assigned this project to the team, to design a team, and in that design team
you were recently joining the BYB team, right?
Yeah.
It was the first project.
It was the first project for me in BYB, and so it happens that we know each other for this project. Want to mention that this project also won the museum award. That was a nice. All the team worked quite hardly on this job. It was a long process. Also because there was the COVID in the middle. So
yeah. I think it is in total 26 windows on a span of 4 floors, and there have been many changes of management that led to refreshing of the design. So K11 as an organization is detail oriented, so they focus on small details about material finishes concept. So when you design for them, you need to be very careful of how to
and push the boundaries also, because they raise the standard quite a lot, so you need to meet that standard. So on this was quite
it's a nice beautiful experience, because it pushes all our boundaries as a team, as a studio, to a new level.
So we pick 2 of the many windows that we design. So one, the main concept was idea comes from my experience, and one comes from your experience. And if you know us, you can understand. You can easily spot
understand the reference.
Understand the reference.
Yeah.
So the all over project.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah. So the overall project is about the music box. If you listen to the previous episode, in the link below, you can understand that the entire shopping mall is about the music box. But then in these small focused windows, they focus on a joy in a box. these small boxes that can bring joy as a music box. The first.
So for me, the things that brings me more joy in the life is to place my disc on the turntable. So once the first day when they told me the brief that there was the music box, the music machine, I said I have the perfect music.
That's it. Yeah. It's actually an embodiment of.
It's a Da Vinci audio reference. So this is okay. This is a illness. No, the people are sick. The audiophile are sick people that seeking the perfection of music. No, and this one actually is what we call reference. So it's like the best of the best of a high end that you can reach. I hold several turntables. Unfortunately, not at this level. I should choose between buying a house or buy this turntable. I'm buying a house. But no, this is the perfect music machine. It's a machine that produces music, and for me was most fascinated is how this movement of the needles inside the grooves can be translated in something so etheric, so how the mechanical movement, the mechanical vibration can be translated in electric signal amplified and became music. It always fascinated me. And the other passion that I have is about art, and of course, I like especially the concept art that is more a research. So for me, the unexpected, is the unexpected combination. The surprise is what I seek more in a art gallery and in art exhibition. This for me connect me also to the music machine, having all these pipes intricate, with this horn that for me was an inspiration that music come from different place, different sources, different distance can melt the sonic waves in some unexpected way. So this for me was the two principle that I try to join in this one that is one of the original sketch that we have. Let's do like this. I talk first about the inspirational and then about the technical. The inspirational is that the product can be read by this machine that was turning, and through these intricate lines of pipes, can be come in a visual music that come out from this horn. Yeah, because for me was the transformation between vibration to sound. So I make the step further, how the sound can be translated in visual. So how these sonic waves can be perceived in a visual. Then a few words about the technical technical aspect about the window display. That also a suggestion that we always use. Try to put all the product the place that is more easily to be perceived by customer. Is the high view. So that's why all this structure is sustain this plate that rise the product, and we have the most emotional aspect above. It's more like wandering. You raise your head, you look at the sky, and it's where the magic and the wandering, the feelings happenings.
From a VM perspective, this is exactly how. It's 3 layers: bottom, center, and attention on the top. Again,
so
if you listen to Gentle Monster episode, Antonio dives to more in detail into the theory behind the logic of VM or the product display.
But let's say that the bottom is more structural, more functional. The middle layer is the one that you have the contact with a product, and the upper part is the emotional one.
Yeah.
Let's see how he turns
the final product.
The final product actually is quite really well executed.
Yeah.
We also have this reminder on the back about this vibration, no? So we have this kind of natural elements that waves, like a distortion of this sand that is being affected by the waves.
Which
and
also,
we have the horn as a podium and an aspect, no? And this music that became visual.
I think also the background is a recall from Musea interior. You have these kind of dots and waves all merging together to create a seamless background. And I think it's a good reference from Musea. We try to evolve as K11 evolved, to try to merge certain elements in different concepts. And
actually, you work more on the visual music element.
Yes.
Because then some elements was been repeating from it was a common project, so some elements was in common between
yes. I think the idea from the shapes going out, these kind of organic shapes, was born from my idea, but evolved into all the windows in the end because of the necessity of how, as you said, how to visualize the sound coming out. It was something else in the beginning, because when I thought about it, it was about how I imagined the music is flowing, as you say here, the floating music. But then in the end, it translated in all the windows in how to represent the motion between the musical instrument to sound. So few references about the feeling, the idea from it. So it's from Salvador Dali painting. So what I like about it is how the piano is kind of flowing away with the music. This is my initial idea, because of the piano is one of my favorite instruments. I always wanted to play, but I didn't have time to learn. I learned only the guitar, but I have a special fondness of piano players from many aspects, because of how complex it is, how most famous composers are pianists in general, not necessarily, but most in general are pianists, because of the wide range of melody that you can play, the ease of control if you know how to play. And then the second reference is from Lois Greenfield. I like the way of the scarf is moving, so for me was a good representation of how the melody is floating in the air, how I visualize it, because as a musician, I'm not saying that I'm a musician, but I know for a fact that as a musician, if you're in a studio and you want to listen to a music, you close your eyes and you try to imagine the sound. You can try to imagine how the instruments are playing. If you really want to listen to something, you close your eyes, put a really good headphones, and then you start to see the elements the instrument play, and then you can visualize slowly how the melody flows. This is the main idea behind my concept. So the first sketch was like this. Thought about having the structure of the melody, let's call it melody at this point, from rice paper or matcha paper, because it's easy to make. I've done something before with hand, a small installation. It's quite easy. You just create a metal net, like a chicken grid, what you call it, and then you wrap it from both sides, and then you can easily bend it and create different shapes. Not talking about 3D, because in 3D I lost my mind building these structures. But yes, it's you have no idea. The center where you connect the piano with the structure is a headache. You have to wrap everything and then melt it. Anyway, it was a good experience to push our boundaries. The piano also, I wanted to reference Salvador Dali. I wanted to make the piano a little bit more surrealistic. So it lost its own volume, so it became a wave, it became a melody floating in space. Because usually when you talk about grand piano or piano, you think about a big structure, a very respectable grand object. But I wanted to make it lose its own presence, become a melody. So we
because again here is a window display, so it's something visual. So for a moment we need to give the feeling on the body, so through a visual element that is something is vibrating and is creating music. Beside the fact that K11 have a strong sensor kind of engagement, because there's a good smell diffuser all over the places. So the music is also created well, so somehow it enrich the experience. But as we explain in other episode, a retail space need to have some more calm and more high focus. So some places are more for relaxing, some places are more for exciting. So this meant to excite, and this meant to pose the guest, the customer that is passing by the window, attract their attention, and in that moment he has to perceive the music more, because it's part of the concept, and it's part of the entire space.
Yes. One last, actually two last points I want to add is that on the top side, if I can point here, in here, at this point here, the melody explodes. So this was idea because like the piano playing, and then the music or the melody will explode and float in space. This is one thing. And the other is that in the initial ideas for all windows, we wanted to create connect an iPad or some like a surface, some surface, touch surface, and people can touch and then listen to vibration from the glass. Unfortunately, at that point, we didn't move forward with the idea.
COVID was breaking out. Touching surface was not a good idea. So
this is the final result of the window, and I think it's was slightly simplified, and result was quite impressive in my opinion.
The execution of the floating is quite remarkable.
Yes,
the floating music is quite remarkable.
It got a little bit simplified through the process between client feedback and production, but in the same time it kept its own. The idea is still the same. For me, I still have the same effect from my sketch.
Also because you always need to balance the attention, the job of a window display is to catch the attention and grab that attention to the product. So also there's a reason why the piano has been simplified, because otherwise it would be too overwhelming, and that could be the most let's say tricky part of the yes.
It will take the spotlight from the product.
Yes, instead it's still sales tools and need to enrich the product that we are selling.
I wanted to show also. I mean, there's so many windows to show, but we selected few of them from the award, the ones that won the Best Design Award, the Musea Best Design Award, to show you with all our team effort how the results were. So you've seen the window from the piano concept. We've seen the turning table concept, but then there's the counterbass in a cubism broken down, cubism style broken down into pieces.
That also it comes like a useful tools because on this you can create some shelves to place the product. Yes. So this is always balancing, balancing the function and the aesthetics and the emotional and the more rational functionality of the window.
True. Then you have the microphone, the focus. You have the conductor, the music conductor. Yes. You have the drums, the snares. I think the drums and snares they applied it in the end into 2 windows because it was really nice setup. I think so much possibility to have display in different levels, but also visually it's kind of bubbly, really beautiful.
So if you see, we have it was quite a large project with many concepts, and many windows. Also, we want to thank Giuseppe to let us show us the original mood board, the original drawings. Giuseppe is the creative director of BYB Vision, and was a teamwork because. This project was like 20 windows. It was 26 windows, plus in the same time we were developing for Musea also, the window display for Musea for other locations.
On the next, I wanted to show a collaboration with an Italian multi-brand. It's called Antonia. This multi-brand is
like
not
me.
a female version of Antonia. The brand is a very creative multi-brand. They do collections every year, but by collection I mean they collect different products from different brands and they create their own collection based on others' collection. They curate their own space. Usually they only existed in Milano. They have 2 showrooms in Milano, and then they moved to Macau in one of the shopping malls. They liked the experience and then they started to collaborate with K11 and they went with Hong Kong, K11. They created the first collaboration which you see here, and then they did another collaboration in Wuhan. So they're quite they created this kind of recent relationship with K11. But I just wanted to show this because K11 is also becoming a platform to launch these kind of multi-brands. Let's say they're not famous. It's the same concept with art. They first tried to use in the beginning. I think you try to use art to bring attention to the shopping center, and then this evolved and they saw an opportunity to bring value to these small artists, local artists, or in big platform. And I think this case is the same. Antonia is a high quality multi-brand, but it's a small brand. They only have 2 stores in the same city in Milan, but now with the visibility in a Chinese market, which is really strong, they can become bigger and bigger. And you can notice that in the last 4 years they opened 3 stores: Macau, and then Hong Kong, and Wuhan. So this is a big step. Also, the design of the interior is unique.
The interior of the design is the opportunity that we were talking in the first episode. No, we said in the first episode that maybe some tenants didn't understand the possibility, the vision of K11, and of course with the time and the more refining of the concept, brand understand that this is a play to be more conceptual, more pushing the boundaries of the design of the stores.
Yes.
So even here there's some reminders of contemporary art, some nice game of contrast colors. It's like an art gallery.
Yes, it is. Everything is as minimal as possible, as in a gallery space.
But still a good play, a good way to play between volumes. It's like architecture. Architecture is no more than playing with the volumes.
What I like about them is the simple way that Antonia creates or curate space. They use the less as possible products to convey the strongest messages. And then to properly talk about beyond K11, we need to understand the business scope of this corporation. To better understand beyond K11, we need to look in detail, in deep on their businesses. We created a small list, a quick list of what they have now, and this list is ever evolving, so they keep adding to it every year. So we have from the business part, from the museum to Atelier, Artus Corporation, and 11 Sky. From these type of businesses, they started to create the series of shopping centers, from the original one to Hong Kong, and to the recent musea, and now they're developing Ningbo, Tianjin, Beijing. And then there's the art and culture aspect of K11, which started in 2010 with the K11 Art Foundation. So they start doing art happening events, artwork, Culture 11, Salon 11, Movie 11, and Performance 11. All of these we will go through them quickly. So it's all about culture for them. So culture in K, not with C. So Culture 11 is an initiative that houses many activities and events done or organized by K11. Movie 11, so I'll show a quick picture of this. They try to create or help small movie creators to develop or display their movies, and this is one of the events in K11 Art Mall in Hong Kong. So you can see all visitors are invited to sit down in the center of the shopping center, watch a movie.
Like Bologna.
Yeah.
Bologna, we have cinema sotto le stelle.
Yes,
like
the cinema under the stars. Yes.
Yeah.
We move to the second one, the performance. The 11 performance 11 is like if you listen to a TV channel called Mezzo. Mezzo is all about music performance and art performance. It's like ballet, modern dancing, music performance, classic music performance, jazz music performance. They help host, support, and create these kind of events. Then you have the salon. Salon comes from the idea of il salone, the French idea of sitting together and sharing ideas. The salon usually used to be like this. So the idea here is like for entrepreneur businesses, small businesses, and people with ideas for projects to show their ideas, to demonstrate and talk about them. It's like a platform, let's say. Then we have the K11 Select. I think this is worth mentioning that many of these giant shopping centers in recent years started to create their own Select. What I mean by Select is the selection of products that they like and they curate them in a certain way, so these kind of products matches the brand identity, the shopping mall identity, and they created in a way, curated in a way that makes
this is
seamless.
an opportunity. Yeah, this is an opportunity because for example, there's some niche design that not necessarily will open a store, but their product they are still worth to be displayed and match with as you said, match with the concept of the shopping mall. So in a kind of way, it's a both sides collaboration, win-win situation in which the K11 create a space in which could host a single product for a niche designer. It's a trigger for consumer to see something niche, what's new, what's coming on, a window for the designer, and also special feature for something to renew quite often for the mall.
On the next step we go to Artus. Artus is an initiative. Maybe we can see the video.
I saw a living space where art and craftsmanship are brought together to reimagine an artisanal lifestyle. That was the starting point for Artus. Artus works with the K11 Crafting Guild Foundation. Together, we empower a small group of craftsmen whose work upholds traditions of craftsmanship all the way back to the Ming and Qing dynasties. These threads of knowledge and heritage are extremely valuable but fast disappearing. It's my wish to conserve them by bringing them into Artus. I wanted our residents to not only appreciate this body of art, but also have the chance to take a piece of this great artistic heritage with them wherever they travel to next.
So I think the idea here is clear. So they want to preserve history, preserve this kind of artisan worker artwork, like call it art pieces, artisan pieces. They want to preserve these artisan pieces, and the genius part that they started to integrate these inside their residential spaces. We've talked before. We've showed a picture in the first episode from Shanghai spaces, Shanghai shopping center, and there was an entrance for office spaces plus residential, and in these residential spaces, K11 started to implement the art foundation collaborations. So they started to add art inside, and then as you can see in Artus, they added artisan pieces that are on the brink of extinction from the Ming and Tang dynasty inside the spaces. And these spaces are really elegant, very expensive, and very well curated. Again, it's the same as they design the residential space as they design the retail space. Everything has a meaning. Every piece they create or curate with all their foundations, they try to implement it inside, from art to artisan work. And then I want to talk about a genius idea, in my opinion, the 11 Skies. The 11 Skies is the same concept of K11 as a shopping center, but in a twist. The skies here references the traveling, the airport. So these kind of centers are close between the city and the airport, closer to the airport, and they have a direct connection to the airport. So it will have entertainment centers, shopping centers, so people can, if they have a long connection flight, they can quickly from a metro connection go in, shop, visit, and then come back in time for for their flights. I think this business model is still new. The 11 Sky is only in its beginning. The only space is this one you see here at the moment is built. And inside it, you have even office spaces, you have residential, and you have hotels in collaboration with hotels. I think Marriott Hotel have worked with them in creating one suite, one zone inside.
So I would say that before, let's say during the 80s, 90s, it was the area around the train station that was sees it as an opportunity. In fact, more of the those became from like suburb to really high value real estate.
Yes.
The same will happens with the airport, because sooner or later, those area will become part of the city, and actually is becoming also an hub for business traveler. Mostly will be business travel, so people that have more power for spending, and it makes sense to have some kind of service, because it's still a real estate. So there's a service apartment, there's some
hotel,
some office also. Many offices moving next to the airport area, so makes quite sense for their business model.
Yeah. I haven't had any luck finding many pictures because it's still in construction, most of it, but some parts are operational. Some of the offices part are operational. And then we move to the next step, which is the atelier. So the atelier is the office spaces in general. So all of them are mixed and matched together. It's different names for the same game, but different titles. So in the atelier is what you saw in, for example, Shanghai was the atelier, the entrance. It has the same language of the K11 shopping center in an office space, in a WeWork space, let's say. It has both private and shared spaces, but the feeling is much more luxury. If you remember, WeWork is more casual, working, entrepreneur-like style. Here is more like businessmen. It's more like I'm going in a hotel to have a business meeting, very high business meeting. So it's everything revolve about luxury here.
That was a big overview on the brand K11. Abudi, if you need to summarize your personal opinion about K11, so what let's say inspire you, and because you lead this episode, so you strongly wanted to showcase this brand. What sparkled in you about this brand?
Okay, so the first thing is the making art for the masses. I remember, if I remember correctly, Banksy, the graffiti artist, once said that the idea of art in a gallery, I'm not paraphrasing, I'm just trying to remember what he said, but he said like art in galleries and showrooms is not really art, because art should be for the masses. And I'm of the same opinion. I think art shouldn't be too expensive. I shouldn't be only for the elite, should be for everybody. So what Adrian did is genius, and execution wise also genius, because I've dealt with many shopping centers that have these corners and they just ask you to design something and then drop it there and then forget about it. But the way he does it, he created an ecosystem talking about business ecosystem of art and real estate merge them together, and then these kind of small things start popping out, like the artisan parts and so forth. This is from the business part. The design, I think the way the brand evolved from the first to the latest is amazing for me. I couldn't believe my eyes when I saw the first shopping center, because it's a little bit far from what they have now, but in the same time I'm really happy to see such a positive evolution from simple idea to more complex, more well-rounded idea. And then if we, as usual, we have the metric for the sustainability. I kind of feel that they are trying to do something. I know real estate corporations usually are not the best, but I think in his own approach, he's doing a good job trying to be more sustainable as much as possible.
I would say, if I need to summarize the sustainability, I will twist a little bit the topic to the embracing the green and embracing the social aspect on that. Let's say that are quite good. No, they offer a lot of public space. They offer a lot of social space, green area, gardens. No, so on this they are quite nice. About the environment and about that aspect, yes, as you said, no, is still a massive shopping mall. Be sustainable. You should let's say that the next step will be do the retrofitting, take some old space, old shopping mall, and maybe regenerate it. That could be a suggestion, even though they are heavily designed. They try to be as careful as possible, let's say, for what they do, but they're still big real estate. Brand-wise, I would say that are quite nice. Yeah, the brand is well structured, well thought. The application is okay if we don't look at the first one, but again, it's a prototype. That each brand, maybe before doing the store, they do a pop-up, and that pop-up is a prototype to see how can you prototype a shopping mall. You need to have a space to do it. So they take the small, they take the essential elements and they apply the concept of social space. People infuse as much green as possible, and they infuse art in as much place as possible. After the model works, the fund was rising, so it was okay to scale up, and they scale up in a good way.
Yeah, my only wish is that they move internationally. I hope to see them in other countries.
Yeah, and on this, I would been curious how they could melt in the local culture, no? So, for example, we have one step in Italy. So, how can, because they focus a lot on new art, also on digital art. They have the first NFT exhibition, a couple of years ago, and how would be also the local interpretation, for example, of a K11 in Rome? That would be quite nice and funny to see how can the two cultures could melt. I find impressive, and I find really nice conservative approach they have through craftsmanship and local having those service apartment with some pieces inside, try to preserve in the culture. That I think is a nice spot. I would say that even though this I don't know, somehow they try to find a balance between art for the masses and their position is quite high and high luxury, no? So it's good that they provide the space for you to go around and to hang around. They also have a middle high kind of tenants inside, not only luxury. They seek for the new brands, so this is also quite remarkable. And they offer social space, but on the other hand, the office environment is quite a luxury. The service apartment is quite a luxury. I think also comes from the Hong Kong kind of heritage, because still it's a city with high financial income. Many companies have the base there, so it comes from that field. So it's closer to that kind of customers. So when you apply to other city, you also you build up that identity that comes from that city. Hong Kong is also cultural wise is many of the movie that we know from the 80s and 90s that we related to the Chinese ecosystem was shot in Hong Kong.
Yes,
The Mood for Love is shot in Hong Kong. Most of the music, the most famous Chinese music comes from Hong Kong. So it's natural that all this cultural attention comes from a brand that have his roots in Hong Kong. Design wise, it flips upside down completely in the market. Meanwhile, all the other players looks strictly at the price per square meters. He has K11 have a different approach. He said
art per square meter.
Art per square meters. Yes, yeah. This is how it should be. This is their core. So it has to be like this. Art per square meter is a really nice. Definition. But if you don't have that design, all the castle will fall down.
True.
So on this design wise, I appreciate a lot. Personal wise, I'm not a big fan of the gold, even though they have a really nice brass. It's not that gold, it's not shiny gold, but it's a really nice patina brass. Too much for my taste, but it's my personal taste. Beside those gear that we see in Wuhan, all the rest is really nice.
Yes,
that one I think is too much.
I agree.
I don't know. I feel it's too rough comparing to all this smoothness of all their design. Having this gear, it's too much.
Yeah, the way they designed it is too strong. Yeah, between the light from the back and the shadows and the layering of them, there's too much details.
I understand the inspiration, because the inspiration is that a small machine, music machine box.
Could be done less in a less evident way, less strong way.
Yeah. That is chipped down a bit the overall design. That
I agree.
Beside that is amazing and really stunning. The last point I want to mention is the opportunity. Is this is an opportunity when you go there. You as a customer, you are affiliated with the art. You appreciate art, and you want there to see a little bit of art here and there. It's like you build the aura of the customers. If people are really into music, we find music everywhere. When I go to a city, the first things I see is where the vinyl record stores are. So the same concept should be used more from the tenant side, since you already have this environment that is heavily artistic. Also, the design inside each store should push more on the artistic side. So I hope that the tenants will understand this opportunity they have. Maybe not to have a flagship store, but how to say, art declination, a more concept declination of the store inside there.
Yes. Could be a great idea.
Some they are nice. They are really nice. But since a shopping mall have such a strong identity, such a focus spot on art, for me is an opportunity to attract more art lovers, customers there. And so provide something more.
Yeah. Could be something as a layover, like some layer to add to your store without completely, as you said, doing a flagship, but to add an extra layer to your store.
A really stupid example, we have the Cartier that is inspired by Salvador Dali. So maybe the Cartier store that they have in K11 Shanghai, all the design can be just
inspired
inspired by this melting watch, and have these details, so having a curated declination of the store. This is a really brainless example. Would be really amazing, because then it became like an attraction for the customers. Let's go in the special K11 because that special city has something special. Then I'm waiting for K11 Rome and see how they deal it with the Colosseum.
Yes, that would be interesting. K11 Rome.
Okay, so
we wrapped 3 long episodes of K11.
3 long episodes like K11. We are about to close the first season of Nesso Design Talks, but we have another surprise for you next week. You're gonna see it. New location.
Stay tuned.
Okay, like, share, subscribe, support us in any way you want. If you like what we do, we open a Patreon account. Also, we are preparing something new for the next season. Any suggestion is most welcome. We would like to hear from you. We know that actually many students, many teachers suggest our episode to students, so this is really flattering. Thanks a lot, and also students, if you have a question, you can reach us. For the rest, let's see next week. It's not a goodbye. Let's see you next week. Bye.
Bye.